For over a decade, the smartphone world has been divided by a single, seemingly unanswerable question. Are you Team Android or are you Team iPhone? The lines were drawn in the sand. On one side, you had the walled garden of Apple, a universe of perfect harmony and effortless simplicity, where everything just worked together as long as it was all made by Apple. On the other side, you had the Wild West of Android, a playground of infinite customization and choice where you could make your phone truly yours, but you might have to deal with software fragmentation and a less cohesive experience. But what happens when the walls of the garden start to develop gates and the Wild West begins to implement some serious urban planning? That is the reality of 2025. The old arguments are becoming outdated, and the gap between these two giants is narrowing in ways we never thought possible, while simultaneously widening in a few critical, unexpected areas. This isn't about picking a winner anymore. This is about understanding a new landscape, where the choice is no longer about which platform is objectively better, but about which philosophy of technology better serves you, the user, in this specific moment in time. We're going to move beyond the tribal loyalties and look at the cold, hard facts about software support, camera computational photography, ecosystem lock-in, and the one surprising area where a true chasm still exists. Let's start with the single biggest point of convergence, the area that has defined the user experience for years, the software and update life cycle. For the longest time, this was Apple's undisputed victory. You bought an iPhone, and you were guaranteed 5, 6, even 7 years of timely, day one software updates. It was a masterclass in long-term value. The Android world, particularly outside of Google's own Pixel line, was a fragmented mess, with manufacturers often abandoning devices after just 2 or 3 years. But in 2025, that narrative has been completely shattered. Google, Samsung, and other major Android players have made monumental commitments to software support. It is now commonplace for flagship Android phones to receive 4, 5, and even 6 years of major OS updates and security patches. The promise of longevity is no longer an Apple-exclusive feature. This fundamentally changes the value proposition. The playing field on long-term support is now almost level. However, the experience of that software is where the philosophies still wildly diverge. iOS remains a bastion of consistency and polish. An app on an iPhone looks and behaves almost identically to that same app on an iPad. The rules are clear and the experience is uniform. Android, specifically Samsung's One UI 7, offers a depth of customization that iOS can only dream of. You can change default apps for everything, from your browser to your messaging client to your maps. You can install third-party launchers that completely overhaul your home screen, use powerful interactive widgets, and fine-tune everything from system-wide color palettes to gesture controls. The pro tip for Android in 2025 is the advanced functionality baked into modes and routines, allowing your phone to automatically change settings based on your location, time, or activity. So, while the length of support has converged, the nature of the software remains a choice between a perfectly curated, consistent museum and an endlessly customizable, powerful workshop. Now, let's talk about the battlefield where most marketing dollars are spent: the camera. For years, the argument was simple: iPhones offered realistic, true-to-life colors and the best video recording on any smartphone. Android, particularly Samsung, was known for vibrant, oversaturated, social media-ready photos. In 2025, that distinction is blurring, but a new, more philosophical divide has emerged. Both platforms now take incredible photos. The difference is in their approach to computational photography. The iPhone's camera system is a point-and-shoot genius. It uses its powerful neural engine to analyze a scene and make micro-adjustments to produce a photo that looks like what your eye actually saw. The processing is subtle, focusing on dynamic range and skin tone accuracy. It's reliable, predictable, and brilliant for the average user who doesn't want to fiddle with settings. The Android approach, especially on devices like the Google Pixel and Galaxy S25, is far more aggressive and creative. The software isn't just capturing a moment, it's actively building a better one. It uses AI to sharpen details, enhance colors, and remove photo bombers. The Magic Eraser feature on Pixels is a perfect example of this. It's not just capturing reality, it's editing it in real time. The insider secret for Android cameras is the Pro mode, which offers manual controls over shutter speed, ISO, and focus that are far more accessible than on iOS. For video, the iPhone still holds a slight, but noticeable, lead in overall stabilization and color consistency, especially in challenging lighting. So the camera choice in 2025 is this: do you want a brilliant computational camera that acts as a faithful documentarian, or do you want an AI-powered creative studio that lives in your pocket actively helping you create a more perfect image? The third major area of comparison is the ecosystem, and this is where Apple's gravity well remains incredibly powerful. The common mistake is to think of this as just a phone decision. It's not. It's a decision about your laptop, your tablet, your watch, and your headphones. If you own a Mac, an iPad, an Apple Watch, and AirPods, the experience of using an iPhone is magical and incredibly difficult to leave. Features like AirDrop, Universal Clipboard, and the ability to answer phone calls on your Mac are seamless in a way that the competition still struggles to match. The Apple Watch is the gold standard for smartwatches, and it is an iPhone-exclusive accessory. This creates a powerful, sticky ecosystem that locks users in. The Android world is inherently more open and fragmented. Your Samsung Galaxy phone works very well with Windows PCs, thanks to the excellent link to Windows integration. You have a wider choice of wearables from Samsung, Google, and other brands. The trade-off is a lack of that absolute, effortless cohesion. While you can make things work together, it often requires more setup and third-party apps. It's a coalition of devices rather than a unified army. So, the ecosystem question is the most personal one. Are you already invested in one camp? Are you willing to switch everything over for a new phone? Or are you a platform agnostic who prefers to mix and match the best hardware from different companies? In 2025, the ecosystem remains Apple's strongest moat, while Android's strength is its flexibility and compatibility with a wider world of technology. Finally, we have to address the one area where a significant, tangible gap still exists in 2025, and it might surprise you: messaging. For years, the blue bubble, green bubble divide was a cultural and technological fault line, especially in the United States. iMessage, with its rich features, high-quality media sharing, and seamless encryption, was a key reason many people stayed with iPhone. The green bubble of an SMS text from an Android user represented a broken, inferior experience. The monumental shift in 2025 is Apple's long-awaited adoption of the RCS, or Rich Communication Services, standard. This is a game changer. It means that cross-platform messages between iPhone and Android will no longer be trapped in the 1990s era SMS protocol. You'll get read receipts, typing indicators, and high-quality photo and video sharing between the platforms. However, and this is a crucial however, the gap hasn't fully closed. Apple is implementing RCS, but it is not making iMessage available on Android. This means that the unique iMessage features like Memoji, full-resolution video, and the most robust group chat functionalities will remain an iPhone-to-iPhone exclusive. The bubble color will likely still be different. So, while the practical, day-to-day frustration of messaging between platforms is being massively reduced, the social and feature-based distinction is being strategically maintained by Apple. This is the new, more subtle gap in the messaging wars. The choice between Android and iPhone in 2025 is more nuanced than ever. It's no longer a battle of good versus evil or advanced versus simple. It's a choice between two mature, powerful, and converging philosophies. The iPhone offers a curated, deeply integrated, and effortlessly consistent experience. Android offers a flexible, customizable, and powerfully open platform. The gaps have closed on longevity, narrowed significantly on cameras, but the fundamental decision still comes down to a single question: do you want your technology to be an appliance or a tool? The answer to that will tell you everything you need to know.